I would like to congratulate you on taking the next step and seeking the knowledge that will help you to improve not only your IELTS score, but also your study and work opportunities for the future. I'm Damon Bailey, and in this training video, I will show you how to use the simple writing task 1 structure included in your free band score booster writing template. The free template has been sent to your inbox, so make sure you check you've received the file in 5 to 10 minutes after you watch this video lesson. This easy to apply structure has already been used by thousands of students to boost their band scores during the writing section of the IELTS test. In this 10-minute video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do to write a high-quality Task 1 report and boost your writing band score. Now it's time to look at exactly how to use the Band Score Booster writing template to structure your writing Task 1 reports and improve your score during the IELTS writing test. The first step is to read the question carefully and analyze the data shown in the infographic. Then pick out the key data points you're going to include in the overview and details paragraphs. The main focus is to describe what you see, so you should not include opinions or ideas about why something happened. You need to write a minimum of 150 words, and we recommend a 4-paragraph structure, an introduction, an overview, and 2 details paragraphs. We recommend you write approximately 180 to 200 words, but not more than 200. The more you write, the more mistakes you could make, so it's better to focus on quality. Now let's look at our line graph question on screen. The graph below shows average carbon dioxide emissions per individual in Germany, Finland, Spain, and Greece between 1970 and 2010. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features, and make comparisons where relevant. So let's analyze the question in more detail. Looking at the line graph, we can see there's data for 4 countries. We are comparing these 4 countries over a period of 40 years in terms of carbon dioxide emissions per person. The whole 40-year period is in the past, so we're dealing with fact and we can use the past tense. For step 2, we will look at what to write for the introduction paragraph. In the introduction, we need to paraphrase the question into our own words. You must not copy the question word for word. Let's look at the question statement here. The graph below shows average carbon dioxide emissions per individual in Germany, Finland, Spain, and Greece between 1970 and 2010. The keywords and expressions that we can paraphrase have been highlighted in the question statement. We can also think about changing the order of the information. So we can write, the line graph compares 4 countries in terms of their average carbon dioxide emissions per person over a period of 40 years from 1970 to 2010. And that's all we need to do for the introduction paragraph. For step 3, we will decide what to write for the overview paragraph. Here we are looking for the main points that you can see, and we want to talk in general terms about the whole period, rather than specific years. This is really important as the overview is specifically mentioned in the band score descriptors. Let's look at the graph again. If we look for overall trends, we can see that the figures for Germany and Finland fall over the period shown, whereas carbon dioxide emissions per person in Spain and Greece rise during this time. Another thing we could mention is that Germany has the highest emissions figure throughout the whole period. So we can write, it can be seen that carbon dioxide emissions per person in Germany and Finland fell between 1970 and 2010. Whereas the figures for Spain and Greece increased in the same period. It is also noticeable that Germany had the highest levels of carbon dioxide emissions per individual throughout the period. The best option for paragraphs 3 and 4, the details paragraphs, is to split them by time so we can compare the data for all 4 countries. We will put half the data in details paragraph 1 and the other half of the data in details paragraph 2. The main focus will be the first year shown, the trends for each nation and anything that stands out, then the figures for the last year shown. So let's plan what we're going to write for the details paragraphs. For details paragraph 1, which is paragraph 3, we will talk about the 1970 figures, which is the first year, and compare the figures for all 4 countries. For details paragraph 2, which is paragraph 4, we will talk about any increases or decreases for each country and mention the Finland figure, which peaked in 1980. Then we will give the 2010 figures, as this is the last year. Firstly, let's look at details paragraph 1. If we look at the figures for carbon dioxide emissions in the year of 1970, we can see that Germany has the highest figure. As a general rule, start with the highest figure and then make comparisons with the other figures. This means we will give the figure for Germany, then make a comparison with the figures for Finland and Spain. Lastly, we can mention that Greece has the lowest figures in this year. So we can write, in 1970, the average individual in Germany was responsible for nearly 11 metric tons of carbon dioxide, while the figures in Finland and Spain were lower, at just over 8 and 4 metric tons respectively. Greece had the lowest figure at just over 1 metric ton per person. And now for the final paragraph, details paragraph 2. In this paragraph, we will mention the overall trends for each nation and give the 2010 figures. In Germany and Finland, the figures dropped, but we could also mention that the figure peaked in Finland in 1980 first. We will mention the fact that the figures for Spain and Greece increased and give the figures. So we can write, the average carbon dioxide emissions per person in Germany dropped steadily to just under 9 metric tons in 2010, a drop of around 2 metric tons. While carbon dioxide output levels in Spain and Greece rose significantly to nearly 8 and 5.5 metric tons per person respectively. The figure for Finland peaked in 1980 at just over 10 metric tons before dropping to less than 6 metric tons in 2010. That's the whole report finished. There's no conclusion, as this is a report rather than an essay. Now you know how to structure your reports for writing task 1, and also what you need to include to maximize your chances of getting a high score for the writing section of the IELTS test. But this is just one step in a 3-step solution that we've created to help you boost your band score for every section of the IELTS test without paying expensive tuition fees. When we work with any students here at IELTS Whiz, we highly recommend that you take the 3 following steps to help you achieve your IELTS goals. You need to analyze the test format and create a plan. You need to take action and learn the correct way to answer questions. And you need to practice your new skills to achieve a great result. It's important to analyze the test format and understand how the test is scored. Having a clear understanding of the test format and how you are assessed means you know exactly what the examiner looks for in each of your answers. Then you can focus on including everything that is necessary to achieve a high score. After you are clear about the test format and what is required to do well in the test, then it's time to take action. This is where you will learn exactly how to structure your answers and what you should include in each answer to maximize your chances of getting a high score. The last step you need to take before doing the IELTS test is what we call the achieve phase. Here you will use a good variety of high-quality practice materials and practice tests, which will take you from being concerned and worried about taking the IELTS test to confident, knowing that you've prepared well and are totally ready to take the test. Taking these 3 important steps in the correct order will take you from where you are now to being completely ready for the IELTS test. By following our clear step-by-step method, it is possible to boost your band score by up to 2 bands in 54 days or less without paying too much for lessons. Following a step-by-step process will help you to go from being a complete beginner to highly skilled and confident going into the IELTS test. So who is this course for? The IELTS Whiz course is for people who are planning to take the IELTS academic test, students who would like to study abroad, students who are entering or leaving university, and students who are trying to get a scholarship. This course is not for people who are planning to take the IELTS general training test. After talking to many students, it was obvious that most of them were having the same problems when it came to studying for the IELTS test. Initially, it was hard for them to find really high quality lessons with great teachers. When they did find high quality lessons, they were usually extremely expensive. Also, students often have very little free time, and studying for the IELTS test is yet another thing you have to fit into your already busy schedule. This is why when we were creating the Band Score Booster course, we focused on the following criteria. We created a course that has very high quality lessons created and delivered by native speakers of English. We made sure that the price of the course would be affordable for all students. And we've delivered an online course that allows you flexibility to study whenever and wherever you want, without having to waste time traveling to another overcrowded class. By now, you're probably asking, what path should I follow to get a good result in my IELTS test? You can do it the old way by putting things together for yourself with plenty of stress and frustration, or you can do it the new way using the method I'll show you now. The IELTS Whiz course has everything you need to prepare for the IELTS test. We have a 9-part video series called Getting Started, which helps you to get a complete understanding of the test format and how the examiner gives you your band score. We have a 10-part video series that shows you how to write great Task 1 reports. We have 10 lessons explaining how to do each of the different essay types you may be asked to complete for writing Task 2. We have 8 videos that explain how to do speaking Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. There is an 11-part video series that explains each of the different task types you could get in the reading test. For listening, there's an 8-part video series that will help show you how to practice the right way for the listening test. As part of your final preparations before the test, we have a video called Test Day Advice and a Test Day Checklist. For each section of the IELTS test, we also have practice exercises that you can do to help you get ready for the day of your test. We also have a Facebook group that we created, so you can connect with other students doing the IELTS test and ask questions about things you're unsure of. Now, if I was to sell these courses separately, the cost would be $397. But when we sell them together on our website, the course is not $397 or even $297, it's only $97. We truly believe in the ability of the Band Score Booster course to help you boost your band score during the IELTS test, which is why there's a 14-day no questions asked money-back guarantee on all purchases of the Band Score Booster course. You can do what you've done before and you will get the same results you've always experienced. You can stay on the path you're on with the same struggles and frustrations, or you can do this course that we put together just for you. You know that it's important for you to have a clear, step-by-step method you can follow to reach your goals, and that it's important to have a high-quality education so you have better job opportunities and a higher salary in the future. Following our step-by-step process will help you to stay on track and achieve your education goals more quickly, because absolutely everything that you need to reach your IELTS goals is all in one place. So remember, here's what you get when you join. You get the Getting Started video lessons and planner. You get the writing lessons, speaking lessons, reading lessons, and listening lessons, along with all the model answers, practice questions, and exercises. You get the test day advice video and checklist, and you will become part of our Facebook community. In total, there are 57 video lessons, and they show you how to do each of the different sections of the IELTS test. Remember, it all comes back with our 14-day money-back guarantee. I've also tried to keep the cost down so it's within reach of all students. This means you get everything you need to do well in the IELTS test for only $97 for a 1-year membership. Where will you be in 90 days to a year if you don't get started now? If you don't take action, nothing is going to change. I want you to think about how it will feel to accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself. Realizing your goals will only happen if you take action today. So as you can clearly see, an easy to follow step-by-step method is what you need to achieve the IELTS score you want. And here at IELTS Whiz, we have a proven model with a very specific framework to help you reach your education goals. So what I'd like to do now is invite you to become part of the IELTS Whiz community. So you can get started doing the top 3 things you should be doing right now if you want to begin boosting your IELTS band score. So go ahead and click on the button below and join us in the community. It will be great to have you with us, and I'm really looking forward to helping you to achieve a great IELTS test result.